Yes, yes, Rasko and Disco beer review with me, Disco, coming at you with a live beer video from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. I'm still ridiculously calling the Disco Arms. A little bit of a special live show today. Just doing a bit of a recap on GBBF so far. Great British Beer Festival. Rasko was over there last few days. And talking of which, here is the man himself.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
yes.
Rasko. How you doing, sir? A little
I'm
bit
all
early
right,
for a
mate.
beer, but cheers to the coffee nonetheless.
I'm on the much needed water now. I think if I was to head over to GBBF this afternoon, my liver and kidneys would explode out of my body and walk off in protest.
Well, that answers that question. You're having a day off today. You're not over there today, then.
If I go, I will go late in the evening, which is not really a particularly great idea, but it's fun because as of yesterday, it was much busier even during the day. But as it went on, as office people finishing work, it was getting a bit busy, and I dashed out around about seven. Oh Christ! Um, no, before seven because I got through the front door at 7:30. And yeah, so it is filling up and it is getting busy. And I'm, as a fan of it, I'm pleased. Hey, Craig.
Craig's
Um,
in, cheers.
I,
Waving.
yeah, I look, sorry to repeat myself. I am just happy it's happening. It's reduced, but it's happening, and it's fun.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah, no, I mean, just seeing the pictures and seeing everybody else who's posted about it, the fact that it's reduced doesn't seem to matter too much. Still plenty there, plenty on, plenty beers.
yeah, I mean, I met with David Wilson, past 2 days, and had a nice chat with him. And he made an interesting point. When you are a beer enthusiast and you're going around, you're trying so much, there is this risk of things don't necessarily wow you. And I get that. I do get wowed occasionally, but more often it's just like, oh, that's very good. I can appreciate that. Hello, Kitty.
Okay, some say hello.
Mm,
Hello.
hello.
Yep.
Um,
Bit,
so
she's a bit
yeah,
all over the place
there.
today.
Yeah. So I decided to leave yesterday at a point where Dave Wilson gave me an imperial recommendation, and he was all wowing, going, "This is great, yeah, yeah, yeah." And then I had it, and I realised I'm not tasting anything. So I came to the conclusion: either I've got COVID or my taste buds are blown. It's time to go home. Either way.
Well, Adam's in as well, and he said there's a question I was going to ask. How is your head this morning, Rasko?
My head's fine. Yesterday morning, my head was a bit cloudy. Um, I've got a bit. My voice is a bit hoarse. I'm not. I'm not hungover. I can definitely feel the effects of being at a really super large beer festival for 2 days. Was it 3 days? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, day
Was
three.
it?
Well, day three yesterday. Yeah. So,
Oh,
well, round us up.
fuck.
How many beers did you have yesterday? What sort of beers did you have?
Well, as we you set me that beer challenge. So to tell you what I did yesterday, I did possibly the most loveliest interview ever. Who you shall see, who will be coming up. I'm not going to. Those who know, and that's going to come up. And after that, I was intending to go home immediately after, like fuck. Um, Sorry
Yeah.
to swear at this time in the morning. But so you sent me a list, so I just proceeded to go find everything on that list. Um, and I did do everything but one by Yeats, Isle of Wight, Isle of Darkness. And I don't know
Yeah.
if it's on, been on and gone, or coming on.
Yeah.
So if anyone hears anything, let me know and I'll be on the first train over. Um,
I think that is one of the like. There's lots of detractors, but one of the things they don't really have a live beer list. It's just because there's so many beers on it. It's kind of a little bit hit and hope. This is what's going to be on at some point over 5 days. So a live
mm,
beer a live beer list might be useful, but I think there's so many beers on it don't really matter.
No, not really. So, yeah. So proceeded to do that. And Craig, I was about to leave, and then I bumped into Craig, and then I stuck around with him. He did some lives, and yeah, we met with some people randomly. We were having conversations with him. One American bloke, and he wanted to know a bit about Porter, what's the history of it and stuff, and told him what I knew. And yeah, it was lovely beer festival. Oh, who I did bump into was Ben Hartz, who runs the Ealing Beer Festival. He's working as a steward there yesterday, and he was very pleased with the interview and video had gone up. And he goes, what I did after my Saturday at the Ealing Beer Festival, I went down to the Dodo for one. I was a bit pissed at this point. And Ben goes, so I hear you went to the Dodo. And I went, yes, Ben, I did go to the Dodo. Yeah. So that's a lovely micro pub, and emphasis on the micro, but mate, it's brilliant. Please check it out. Give West London some love.
Absolutely, they don't well.
Yeah, and I had a chat with him about stuff, and what he noted is that Americans are doing more and more cask, and there's a lot of American cask over at the Great British Beer Festival this year, and that's interesting. That's nice to see the British influence on the American beer scene, because America is hailed as a superpower of beer. Yeah, it's interesting.
Excellent. Well, yeah, good to see. I know, obviously, American beers gaining more traction over here. I had a little bit of a dip, I think, for a while after the initial craft kind of boom, but
well, there's another thing also at the Discovery Bar, which is I really love. Excuse me. There is Siren were doing some beers of theirs, but they were using American hops, and they were asking people to taste them out, and they were all pale, so you were going to have a horrible time. But what I did do is replace some of the Citra in it.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be even something noteworthy for you. Siren are making some brilliant moves at the moment. I think they are becoming the dominant and most dominant craft brewery out there at the moment. Second to none, Anspach and Hobday are a bit more creative, different type of creative, I'd say. And that they do more old recipes and respect the history. And this whole thing that they're trying to rival Guinness. This is going to come up with the interview with this beer writer, actually, that I interviewed yesterday.
A well-known beer writer.
Quite well-known beer writer. It's surprising and then non-surprising once I think about how in tune our minds were. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I think you probably say the name here. There's a little teaser. There's a little.
Well, I'll just say this, Roger.
Chat with Roger sounds interesting. Good coming up. Look forward to that.
Yeah, so it's been a great few days. If you ask me what's my beer of the festival,
what's your beer of the festival, Rasko, so far?
Difficult one. I had a really good Czech New England IPA actually yesterday. Let me look that up. Some of the beers you recommended are pretty good. But dude, you got to stay off the darks, man. Come on.
Yeah, that was purely accidental. To be fair, I just went on names, pretty much ones that I was going to look at, and I thought I did put a pale ale in there. I did. I put the top right one in, didn't I? The top right, yeah. I think if I'd carried on a little bit, I would have found a few more of interest. But yeah, that was just a random quick list that I give you. But you've done well to get all but one of them. Maybe if you go back the other one. What was your? I mean, you had quite a lot of beers yesterday. What was your? Let's go back before we do Beer Festival, what was your favourite of yesterday? Because we're rounding up day 3 here, so
Yeah, all right. It'd be
yeah, so
Dave
far,
Summer. It'd
who
be
knows?
called, it's by Massa, and it's called Dave, or DEGJV, Summer Ale. That was very nice.
Cool.
And then there was another one. The Czech one I'm on about is Permon, hazy Citra, New England IPA. Not that hazy, but you know what I did have, which once I saw I had to have it because I've had bottles of it. Men and Dew by St. Austell.
Oh yeah.
On cask, and I thought, well, I'm having some of that. And the guys were like, "We're gonna have a half or a pint." I said, "Well, you usually have thirds." But you got it on cask. All right, yeah, all right, half. Creme brulee, Billy is
Creme
quite
brulee,
nice.
Yeah, from Beartown.
Yeah.
It's an old school one, that is. I remember having that at festivals 10 years ago or 6 years ago, something like that. But I haven't seen it for a while, so it's good they're still around. I mean, I've got to check out Beartown.
It's interesting. I've just seen a comment from Adam. London
Black
is nothing like Guinness. Okay, fair enough. I think it's everything Guinness should be. In all honesty, it's like better. But you know the cask one, look of London Black, it glides on the tongue. But yeah, back to the beers.
Because I haven't tried it yet, but I think it's meant to rival Guinness or to be, what Guinness maybe used to be or should be, or like you say, like that. So
again, this will come up in the interview yesterday that I had with Roger. And it is kind of a challenge of like, this is the standard that you big boys should be operating at. And Ansbach have indicated that even in the interview I did with Jack back a year ago, he said nothing against them, but we're meant to be refined, cultured drinkers. We should be doing things at this standard.
I thought Adam might know the creme brulee, the Beartown one. The Imperial one, I don't think I've had the Imperial one, but yeah, their new branding, I did think that it wasn't all that, but things changed, didn't they?
Yeah. Quantock Brewery. Oh my God, I hit myself when I found this because I was walking around the entire time. As you know, GBBF is not divided by sections of the nation. They've got bars named after memorable places in the UK, like Ben Nevis Bar, Edinburgh Castle, Windsor Castle, and they're not divided into like areas of the nation. There's a advantage to this because it just means you're not heading to one part of the country, you're heading to all parts of the country all at once. So there you go. But there are certain bars who just have their own thing. And Quantock Brewery, I was going around for ages, looking around, and they've got their own bar.
Mark says we're savages for going live at 10:45, but because we didn't do it last night on the way home, we thought we'd just have a quick roundup of yesterday's GBBF day, and a little breakfast session, morning session.
We should do breakfast sessions more often, actually. It makes sense.
I don't see why not. We can do. Cheers, Mark. Good to see you.
Cheers. How are you, Mark? How was your journey home?
Just quickly, Adam says London Black hasn't the body to be similar to Guinness. Just going back to that, it's like, I'll leave you a comment out. I'm seeing it. This thing about Rivington not being there. I didn't see Rivington on the list. Were they meant to be there?
I think this festival, and this is I think it's mentioned in the interview I did with Abby and Catherine. This festival was this close from not happening, and some breweries just didn't make it in time.
So Craig reckons they were supposed to send beer down. Either the beer never showed up because of transport issues, or they just didn't send any. Who knows? But a couple I've had from Rivington. I've got another one to try. I wasn't massively impressed with the ones that I had, but I generally hear good things, so we shall see. But it depends if anybody else noticed that they weren't there.
Well, yeah, indeed. Yeah, I don't recall having them. I probably have. I have to search through the phone, find out. What there is nice. Me and Craig witnessed the silent disco, which is quite cool. And they're starting to play music. And they were doing an auction yesterday.
Oh,
Now that I'm talking about it a lot more, I really want to go now. Um,
as always.
God, yeah, yeah. But there's some.
Good one for Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, hi, chaps.
The journey home
Nice.
made better by having a Cornish pasty the size of a large family SUV. Definitely needed to stay coupled out there. Was that a West Cornwall pasty company? Are they still at stations and stuff?
I don't think they. I haven't seen one. I think they are, but I don't know. But they've had that pastry facility that's always there at GBF have 2 stands, and I had some of their pork scratchings, which are amazing. The pies, good to die for.
Yeah,
yeah. Hey, it is what it is. It's a lovely event. It is my favourite beer festival. It is.
Yeah,
I've still got one more to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig and Sir Mark, what are your favourite beers of the beer festival so far? If you're still watching, if you're not still watching, I'm talking to myself.
So talking of days, you've been there 3 days. You might go again today. What did you get? Presumably you got like the what they called it, the season ticket. You got the all days ticket.
Yes.
One of the criticisms I see of GBBF was like the price of entry, and it's like, well, the day price, yeah, is quite high if you just go on the one day, but if you're going more than one day, you just get that season ticket and you save yourself £8 if you go over 2 days. You know, so it was like 34 quid, I think, wasn't it, the season ticket?
Yeah.
And that hasn't gone up much since I last went in 2019. Since the last one, it's, you know, if you go 5 days, it's going to cost you £100, even as a camera member if you pay individually. But 34 quid for 5 days of like entry is phenomenal. I'm surprised that ain't gone up.
100% agree with you. I don't see what the criticism about. If you have even the day ticket, 20 quid, I mean, that's still relatively cheap. If you look at where it's at,
it feels a lot just to get in. It does feel a lot just to get in on one day, even at like camera discount rates. But if you're only going one day, then maybe it is. But if you're going all week, then it's a great value. But anyway, sorry, go on, you were saying.
No, I just think, 20 quid, considering all you've got there, the venue. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. I don't see it as a bad thing. You just need to make sure you get down there quick enough. I'm sorry if you're going straight after work and you don't get there till 7 and you're leaving at 10. That's 3 hours. That's 3 hours. Come on.
Exactly. I mean, it does. Depends how long you're there for. It depends what people perceive they get out of it. But when you look at what you get in for that, you've got all like the transport costs, getting the beer there, hiring the hall, the entertainments. Like a lot of people don't like the entertainments, but you can stay away from it. But it all adds up, doesn't it? And unless you run a beer festival or you've contributed to that, you probably don't know what goes into it. Like, it's difficult to say.
Yeah. And if I'm honest, look, GBBF simply has to put up a poster and they get criticised. Oh, it's not as blue as it used to be, or it's not as green as it used to be. Yeah, I find some of the criticism of GBBF isn't necessarily critical. I mean, I don't have problems with people complaining, but you said, come on, have a point. But yeah, that's just me. There you go. But yes, so
as Adam says, go back to that Rivington. It might be the courier rather than Rivington themselves, but who knows?
It's a complaint with a lot of festivals, and not just GBF. S'mores Porter, that's quite good.
Oh yeah.
That was quite good.
Three Brothers one from up in Teesside.
Yes.
Mark's going in with his favourite beers, the Maltese Citrus Pale.
Nice.
And Fine Ales Kegged Pale was awesome, and a New Zealand Pale from Urban North, which was beaut, mate. Absolute beaut. I think it means beautiful, but let's say it down. Let's say it in Antipodean. That was absolute beaut, mate.
Yes, very good Antipodean. Noble Empire I had 2022 by Ale Smith's Brewing Company, American beer. And
going,
Solar Lemure, that's it. Craig recommended that by Fifth Hammer Brewing Company from New York State in America at 7.5%. Absolutely gorgeous beer. Vanilla Gorilla, that was all right. 1910 Porter by our sorry, Alova Brewery. That was quite nice. I had Brazilian Coffee Vanilla Porter, and I'm pretty sure I've had it before, by Colchester Brewing. It was okay. It was not smack bang. It had weak body, very weak body, but it had a nice aroma and texture to it. Now, here's one. Harvey's Brewing Imperial Extra Double Stout. This had a lot of character to this because it is quite malty in that. I find some Imperials are dangerously too easy to drink. And I think this one was quite like saying, mate, slow down. Every time you had a sip, it was kind of like, well, bit of resistance, pleasant resistance. It was just like, mate, it's just good friend tapping you on the shoulder saying, slow down, pal, slow down. You don't need to rush this. So, yeah, rather enjoyed that. Oh, hang on. I love taking pictures of this. It brings back all the memories. New River Brewing, 5-inch dropped. Mersey saying, I've got the S'mores Porter in a can and free gift and Full Circle Brewing. It was pretty good for an ABV. There you go. I had this lager. Wasn't too keen on it. It was at the American Bar by Wilmec Brewing Company. Gallup's Blanc Indian Dark Lager. It was a very flat lager. Whatever happened, I don't know what happened, but something happened. That's that. Anyway.
I'm really busy for now. Just banging, lovely. And Mark says, I thought it was a great festival. Found it reasonably priced in terms of beer and food. Lord sorted me tickets. I can't comment on entrance costs. Fair play.
Tell you, Putin's Unsinkable Moskva.
Yeah.
Bloody great drink. Golden ale, as an Ukrainian style. Absolutely gorgeous and refreshing. Great for summer weather.
There's a good question for you. Then from memory then, Rasko, if you had that, because Ukrainian golden ale is becoming a recognised style, can you remember from when you had it at Perivale, their golden ale, what's the comparison to the Lord's one? Putting you on the spot here.
I don't know. I will have to have it again. No.
I've looked into it enough. I mean, obviously, I remember the one we had at Perivale, but I don't know what a Ukrainian golden ale brings over and above any other golden ale. But only having had the one, which was quite good. When we had at Perivale, it was a little hoppy, but it was quietly balanced, and obviously it was fresh because we had it straight out the brewery. But it was a good drink. Still got that bottle to drink. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, that's a good idea. I've got some ideas, but I don't want to be unfair to either of them. So pass.
That was good beer anyway.
Very good beer. Yeah. Well, that's what we're almost at 11 o'clock, and we've all got things to do. You want to call it wraps, or do you want to keep talking shite?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good roundup from yesterday. See if you get there again today. Maybe might not get time for a roundup from today if you're there late, or maybe do a late one or something. But
we shall see.
Yeah,
I'm in negotiations with my liver and kidney at the moment. So.
They can rest next week. No, they can't rest next week. And you got London Craft Beer Festival next week.
Yes, only for one session though.
Yeah. Cool. All right then. Well, cheers. Good to chat to you. Catch up, Rasko. Thanks to everybody in the comments and anybody's watching after the event. Thank you very much. Let us know your thoughts on GBBF, obviously, in the comments. We'll get back to them, get around to them as ever. In the meantime, enjoy the beers and believe enough to lose control.
Adios.